Hi, today we will learn how to write a message. Writing a message is part of Class 10 English Creative Writing section under the minor discourses, and writing a message carries 5 marks, and it's very easy to score 5 marks out of 5 marks. All you need to do is just follow this video, learn, and if you have any doubts, please get back to me. So happy learning. So, what is a message? A message is a piece of information that is shared with another person, normally in the written form. This information could be a request, it could be news, it could be order, it could be suggestion, or it could be action to be taken. For example, a request. You write a message to your friend requesting your friend to bring you his textbook. Or news, for example, you write a message informing somebody that the DEO is going to visit the school and all of them have to come dressed in school uniform. It could be both news and order here. A suggestion. For example, you can write a message to your friend suggesting that they bring their water bottles as the summer has just started. So it can also be suggestions, it can also be an action to be taken. So we normally use the verbal form or the voice in our day-to-day transactions to convey a message. However, for the sake of examination, and also at many places, what we do is we use the written form of conveying the message, especially so when the person is not reachable or you want the message to be documented as evidence. So, what are the different ways a message can be influenced, especially when it comes to the presentation of the message? These are a few points that are there in front of you. It could be the level of formality. Is a message a formal message or an informal message? The second one is the nature of the message. Is it urgent? Is it important? How important it is for the person who is going to receive the message? The relationship between the sender and the receiver. For example, a message that is conveyed between two friends or siblings or parents is much different from a message that is conveyed between people who are in the senior position. Or if you were to write a message to your principal, to your teachers. So, the relationship between the sender and receiver also decides whether the message could be formal or informal. And of course, the availability of time and situation. You don't have much time to write a long message. So what you need to do is you just scribble that very little bit of information because there is constraint of time and probably the situation doesn't warrant you to put in the entire information. All you need to do is just put that little bit of information. So these are a few ways that can influence a message is presented. So what are the various examples of messages that we use today? One of the most commonest thing is the message option that is available in our mobile phones. And the other most common thing, I think this is much more common today than anything else. That's the WhatsApp. That's one place where we keep sending messages to and fro. The Twitter, of course, the Google Messenger, the Facebook Messenger, the Yahoo Messenger, and the age old, always eternal, a simple piece of paper on which you scribble that message and pass it across. So these are a few examples of the different messengers that we use today to convey the message. So what goes into writing a message? the points that you see in front of you may not be necessarily in the right sequence or order, but they're all very important. First, keep in mind, whether the message that you write is relevant. Is the information correct? Is the information necessary? Is it relevant to the receiver? Now, a message is not a letter, so it has to be brief, to the point, precise. The language that you use in the message should also be appropriate to the context of the message and the person it is meant for. Remember, the language that you use for writing a message to your teacher or your senior officials is definitely going to be different from the language that you use when you write to your siblings or your friends or your parents. I would always suggest, at least from the examination point, never use short forms, never use emoticons, right? Please maintain proper sentence structure. Ensure that your sentences are grammatically correct. You ensure that there is proper punctuation and the right spellings. Again, this is one place where many youngsters make mistakes because they're not very familiar or confident with their spellings, and they tend to use short forms. Please avoid making any spelling errors. So what are a few do's and don'ts for a message, for when you write a message? These are the things that you need to keep in mind. Again, maintain clarity. Be very clear. Because your message is very short, it is concise. You need to express whatever it is in fewer words. So ensure that your message is very clear. Be concise, brief, to the point. People don't have all the time to read. Now, write correct information, relevant information. No feelings here most of the time. Pass on what is relevant to the receiver. Mention important details like date, time and place. Wherever, if you are conveying, you are asking somebody to meet you at certain place at a certain time. So you need to ensure that you definitely mention the important details like date, time and place. Avoid informal language. Absolutely. Don't use any language that is impolite, informal. From the examination point of view, use language that is formal. Avoid negative words. No, don'ts, not, any negative words. And use reported speech because you are trying to convey the information passed on to you by somebody else. So instead of using direct speech, use indirect speech or reported speech. Some more do's and don'ts for a message. Use salutation. Hi, dear. Use the name of the person or the relationship. Hi, father. Hello, teacher. Dear madam. Use appropriate leave taking. When you write the message, at the end of it, your name has to be there. So, but for the exam, use XYZ or ABC or 1, 2, 3, right? And love, affectionately, something like that. Present your message very neatly. Let the important point come at the beginning, right? So it should be neat. Even when you write a message, ensure that your handwriting is neat. Stick to the point. Don't deviate and just make it a lengthy message. Don't skip any important or relevant details, please, because you're writing a message so that somebody can act upon it. So give whatever is important or relevant for the person to read, understand and act upon. So ultimately, write what is important for the receiver to act upon. Very important. So here is the golden rule with the silver lining. It simply goes like this. Stick to the layout that you're going to learn in the next few minutes, and before you submit the paper, always suggest that you proofread thoroughly. Any bit of writing, there are times when you tend to forget, you tend to overlook certain valid points. So it's always very important that you stick to the layout, proofread thoroughly and follow all the do's and don'ts, and I'm sure you will get 5 on 5. So sample 1, there are a few examples. I'm going to give you 2 examples. Now these examples are something that I worked on. You can probably always improve upon this and make, you can probably write a much better message, but these are definitely good ways of writing a message. So the first sample is here for you. You are Yash Daji Tongchi. You have visited your village and have gone back to city. Write a message to your father that you have reached city and all is fine. Also ask him to take care of himself. So let's see how you can probably write a message. I'm just giving you a sample. So the first sample here is like this. So you see there on the top, there you have your message, very, very boldly little. And here you have your date, 21/2/2020. And then you have the time of the message. And there is this salutation, dear daddy. And there is also leave taking love, Yashi. That's the name that you have been asked to use. Look at the message. It's very crisp and to the point. I've reached my hostel safely today. The journey was tiring and long. I had the food packed by mommy. I've been thinking of you, father, from the moment the bus journey began. We were both going in the opposite directions. I really miss you and mother. I hope you come and stay with me forever in the city. But I know you both love the village and mountains there. I'm fine here and don't worry about me. You and mom take care of yourself. Bye. So there is leave taking there. The purpose of this message was to just say that you've reached home, and then you're tired. You'll probably call later, and you had your food, and you're asking your father and mother to take care of themselves. So a little bit here and there I've added, asking the parents to come to the city, and so you can take the liberty of doing that, but normally it should stick to the point. But for that you'll get your 5 marks. So let's look at the second sample now. Sample 2. Now you see here, this is a little bit more complicated. Imagine you are Mr. Tattersall and your friend Abel is getting married to Mrs. John Shorrocks at Ring O Bells today. He has invited you to his wedding, but unfortunately you have to leave city due to some urgent work. Write a message to Abel conveying your best wishes, as well as your inability to attend the wedding and apologizing. So what is the purpose of this? So first, your friend Abel is getting married. He's invited you to the wedding, but you are not able to make it to the wedding because you're leaving city due to some urgent work. So you are writing to Abel, apologizing and also wishing him. So let's see what could be the possible sample of this message. So there again it goes. There you have your message right on the top. There you have your date, 21/2/2020. There you have your time, 1 p.m. And then there is this salutation or greeting, dear Abel. And then you have the congratulatory message, because now remember, this is a wedding. So hearty congratulations on your wedding, the exclamation mark, the punctuation mark there. I would like to wish you the very best on your wedding with Mrs. John Shorrocks today. So I'm first congratulating my friend. You and Mrs. John Shorrocks are very dear friends of mine and would love to be part of your wedding celebrations. I'm building up the rapport. I'm not directly saying that I'm not going to come to your wedding. That would hurt the relationship. So this is how I do it. It's called the sandwich method. However, I'm not able to make it to your wedding today as I have an urgent project meeting at New York with the mayor. I'm talking about how important it is and how I can't avoid it because it's the mayor of the New York city. I tried to avoid this meeting, but my boss insisted and I had to leave suddenly. I will be back over the weekend and hope to catch up with you both and congratulate you personally. Now I'm trying to make it up. I know that you will be very upset, dear friend, but please accept my sincere apologies. I will also be missing the fun, food and friends. And then closing. You have fun and celebrate your wedding, and I wish you both a very happy married life. Best wishes, love, and Tattersall there. So there is leave taking and there is the name of the person. So you can try working on this and you can probably write a much better message. But I thought this is a good example of a good message. Right? I hope this video has been useful to you, and I look forward to your comments, your questions, so that I can make your learning process much better. And I would like to request all of you to please like and subscribe my videos, motivate me to come up with many more informative videos that could help your learning experience become a much better experience. Thank you all. I sign off here. Take care. God bless.